Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.
That would largely be based on some cost-cutting measures, such as reducing of government fleets of vehicle, famously called the vehicle policy. Also selling of some of the very expensive cars, Rolls-Royce, and et cetera, some of whom which are still at the State House. And also the to limit domestic borrowing. However, what we see now, after the economy has been rebased, recalculated, and debt to GDP ratio fell considerably, I think to 82%, I think, which is now 111%, correct me if I'm wrong. And also some of the cost-cutting measures that were promised, I mean, as far as the media is concerned, we've not seen. What's holding these things back? Thank you.
So the question goes to the finance minister or to the deputy?
No, minister. This one is for you.
Thank you very much. As a government, I think we have been doing cost-cutting measures by virtue of the fact that we are doing what we say, you cut your coat according to your size. And that so far, what we have seen is that we have been doing it. Maybe what you should be doing is to be visiting our website. We do have quarterly publications in the website, and you will see exactly if the revenue increases and we can afford it, of course, we can spend more. But if you put it into context, you look at some of the governance issues that we have been confronted with, including funding of the commissions. These were things that were never budgeted for. So if we talk about that, these are issues that we have to go out of our way to make sure funds are provided. I think you can remember last quarter, last fiscal year, there was a travel ban that we put in place, and it worked very well. It's part of all cost-cutting measures. The cars that you're talking about, expensive cars, we are going through a legal route to make sure that we do the right thing. You cannot just take an expensive car overnight and just go and sell it. We have to go, after the completion of the Journey Commission, we will look at the report. The report is being looked at, and to make sure that whatever we are doing, we are taking the legal route. With regard to GDP debt ratio that has been rebased, it was 129 after the percentage 129. Now, after the rebase, is 88%. For you, just to for your information. Did I miss any other question?
Is it at 8% right now?
Right now, yes, yes. It was 129 after the rebase is 80. Yeah, we within that range. So we are hoping that we are making moves and efforts to make sure it will go further down, because it is in our interest to make sure that the debt GDP ratio will go further down so that we can access more resources. Right now, we can only access concessional financing. Without that, there is nothing that we can do. So we are moving towards that positive and right direction.
Yeah, it's with regards to some salary increments that have been done in regards to, I mean, you've talked about the cost-cutting measures that you said you've done, but we've seen in your last year budget, you've had part of the vehicle policy implemented, which is increase in transport allowances for government officials. But yet, this was supposed to be a part of a broader policy scheme, which is to ground several vehicles that are belonging in government garages. That it is said you spend close to $300 million on every year. But part of this policy was never implemented. And yet, the transport allowance increased had come, and it's a 50% increase on salaries.
Okay. I think the point made was after the implementation of the vehicle policy, it was estimated that a savings of 300 million will be made. But there were technical hiccups, and now the vehicle policy is being reviewed. With having this in mind, that we will make sure that if you look at the frequency, the way the government vehicles were used, it has gone way down. But that doesn't mean that we are comfortable with what is going on. No, we are going to do more further austerity measures to make sure that we control it. With respect to the salary increase, it's being financed through our own domestic resource mobilization. It's not externally financed. And so far, the revenue is doing well, and we are paying salaries since January. So again, this is to make sure that the 50% increase in salary is accompanied with expenditure control. We make sure that unnecessary monies that were spent are now being controlled, just to make sure that we are able to meet our obligations, and we will continue to do that. It's an ongoing thing, and we are confident that we will be successful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can we move on to the next?
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Samuel Ba. I report for the state television. My question goes to Mr. Zhang. The Gambia's fiscal outlook was recently given a positive view by the IMF, but fiscal challenges are still abound. What advice do you have to boost outlook for a more robust growth? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your questions. Before I answer your question, let me say a few words about my visit. First of all, I'm very glad to be here to visit these beautiful countries together with my colleagues, my executive directors representing the Gambia at the board, and also meet with our counterpart, Gambia authorities later on. We just had this morning had a very good discussion with Minister NJ and the Governor Jameh, and later on I will move to meet His Excellency the President Barrow. And the main purpose of this visit is witnessing the strong recovery of the economic performance of these countries, and also encourage the authorities continues the reforms and the policies to support the recoveries which we have seen in the last 2 years. As you mentioned it, the economic growth have remained solid and actually strong, around the 6.6 range percent of GDP growth, and also the inflation is at the 6.6%, and with the foreign exchange reserves is 2 to 3 months of import. All these indicators are quite positive. Back to the fiscal indicators, a moment ago, Minister Eng already mentioned it. There is a strong improvement in that regard. And of course, there's a lot of things need to be done in the futures. And many of the challenges in terms of the spending, in terms of the revenue mobilizations, that's why we are right now actively working with the authorities, working on these areas. Of course, we need to continue to improve the revenue mobilizations and prioritize the fiscal spending so that we will have enough fiscal space to support those most vulnerables, particularly the poor, and also to make sure we have enough spending to safeguarding on the expenditures of education and public health. At the same time, we need to move forward with to create a better environment for private sectors so that the business can boom, and that will generate even more revenues to finance the most needed the public expenditures. At this moment, the revenue side, you can see that government is taking measures in terms of the building up the institutional capacities and also working on the SOE reforms. And there are, of course, many other areas we can work with the authorities to continue to make sure the fiscal stand in a more sustainable path so that the countries can benefit what it has been achieved in the past 2 years. So with that, I wish all the best for the countries and also wish for the authorities to continue the strong reform path so that then the economy can benefit from there. And in that regard, of course, the IMF is then ready to continuous work and support the government effort, and wish all the best for the Gambia economy and Gambian people.
Thank you very much. My name is Alhaji Koli from West Coast Radio. My question is going to the IMF guy. Currently in the Gambia, the unthinkable is about to happen. A company that has existed for more than 40 years is about to shut down operation. And this is due to because they argue that it is an advice from IMF. This is what I want to know, find out what is the measures that the IMF must have used to advise our government that the excess tax has to increase from 10 to 75%.
Yeah, I think the minister can.
I think just for clarification, no. I think it was part of the budget for 2018. It was a proposal. We went to the National Assembly. It was debated and it was approved. To say that it was an advice from the IMF, I think we disagree with that. And I don't know where you get that information from, but it is something that it is not true. It is something, it's the National Assembly, Finance Minister, it's a government. Their role is not to impose anything, but is to guide and advise us. But with this one, it's a policy that came from the government, and we went to the National Assembly. It was debated and it was approved. As at now, we're engaging them. The impact, they have now communicated to us through the Ministry of Trade with the National Assembly Select Committee. We're working with them. To say that it's from the IMF is not true. I think we'll take that responsibility.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I'm sure when this policy came, then you were not the minister here, if I am right.
No. Yeah. I came in August, and I'm the one who went to the National Assembly to present. Oh, you're saying that it was a long-time advice?
No, what I mean when the policy came. But I just want to take up this with you. You have worked in the Jammeh government, and during Jammeh era, the excess tax was from 5% to 10% increment. But you being the Minister of Finance, when the government is about to take such a policy, what was your advice towards this excess tax? Since you have worked with the former government.
Yes. I think what happened is these policies are not just made overnight. A study was made thoroughly, technically, and then it was determined that this is the proposal. Again, we're talking about domestic resource mobilization. It has nothing to do with the IMF. It's domestic. We are obligated to pay our taxes, where we were obligated to make sure that this 50% salary increase is locally funded. So if we say that it was from there going 5 to 10%, for decades now, we were a country that other countries, our neighbors, 50%, they were over the years, it has been ongoing. The impact now, they have communicated with us, we are now meeting with them to review it. The process and the procedure is that we'll have to go back to the National Assembly, debate it, and see ways and means of moving forward. Okay?
Thank you. Okay, one last question because we are, yes?
Ask two.
One. Because we are rushing to, yeah, we have another appointment.
Okay, thank you very much. My question goes to the IMF guy. The new government promised to build stronger institutions. I want to ask, what impact will the rule of law and sound governance have on the country's path towards economic recovery?
Well, thank you very much for your questions. I think in the new endeavors of the countries moving into the path to prosperity, the building a strong institutional capacities is not only important but also necessary to move forward. And this, of course, as you mentioned, include the wide range of the issues regarding the governance and also the judicial system reforms. And I believe the authorities right now are actively seeking the best way to move forward, and a lot of the initiatives has been taken, including in particular the Janet commissions. And this commission's report is under preparations, and among many other judicial reform initiatives, the government will, based on these commissions' work and also based on these commission report, to propose the further reforms in these areas. And we believe this is the right positive steps to move forward. And of course, we are ready to work with the government in these areas. And we will also believe that with the measures taken in this governance reform and civil service reform and judicial reforms, that will very much enhance the business confidence and beef up the foundations for the social and economic stabilities, which is very much the country needed in order to move forward. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this Q&A session. I bring it to a close. Thank you very much.
Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.